What's up guys, thanks for checking out another video. So for this video, I want to start to explain my optimism around the Detroit Tigers this season. And instead of making one long video covering all the individual pieces, in this video, I'm just going to cover the outfield. So right now, in the outfield, currently there are only two positions locked up. Austin Meadows should be getting the majority of the starts in left field, and Riley Greene will be our everyday center fielder. Austin Meadows didn't really play last season, and in the 36 games that he did play with the Tigers, he was playing through injuries, so I feel like we never really got an opportunity to see the real Austin Meadows. And the last time the league saw the real Austin Meadows, it was special. In 2019, Meadows had a breakout year in Tampa. In only 138 games, he finished with a .291 average with a .364 on base, a .558 slug, and a .922 OPS to go along with 33 homers and 89 RBIs. He also made the All-Star team and finished 14th in MVP voting in 2019. It's actually kind of a strange coincidence that similar to last year, in which he only played 36 games, he also played exactly 36 games in 2020. But he bounced back from that short 36-game season in 2020 by putting up a .772 OPS with 27 homers and 106 RBIs. He also finished 20th in MVP voting in 2021. I know that spring training doesn't mean much, if anything at all, but thus far, in the first few games, he looks like his old self. His swing looks as beautiful and effortless as it ever has, and he's quickly reminding everyone how good he actually is. When Austin Meadows is locked in, he's one of the best hitters in the league, hands down. According to Baseball Reference, he's only projected to have 333 total plate appearances this year for some reason, and finished with a .739 OPS, 11 homers, and 45 RBIs. That's ridiculous. Based on the fact that Meadows is now back to full health, physically and mentally, I think that may be the single worst projection out of every player in the league. It's also worth noting that this guy is only 28 years old. There's a lot of great baseball years ahead for Meadows, and he's someone that we should be excited about going into 2023. Moving on to Riley Greene, last year at only 21 years old, the 6'3" slugging phenom from Orlando got his first look at the bigs, and he was way more impressive than his final numbers would indicate. In 93 games, Riley finished the season with a .253 batting average, a .321 on-base percentage, and a .682 OPS to go along with 5 homers and 42 RBIs. He also finished with a 1.5 WAR in those 93 games. One of the most impressive things about Riley's first season was his ability to make adjustments. He would go through these ups and downs throughout the season. Whenever Riley would fall into a slump, you'd notice that he was sitting on pitches that he wouldn't previously, he would be swinging at the first pitch of the at-bat, etc., and he would fall back into a rhythm. He's without a doubt the most exciting young player with the highest expectations in the Tigers organization, and I think he has a real chance to break out in 2023. Super excited for Riley. Moving on to right field. This is where it gets complicated for the Tigers. It appears that the Tigers are going to be implementing a platoon system, at least until someone stands out among the rest and takes the everyday job. We have a few very exciting options who will be competing for that role. Akil Baddoo versus Kerry Carpenter is likely the biggest storyline this spring training, as many perceive that only one of them will make the big league roster out of spring, while the other one is sent down to AAA. After having an impressive rookie season in 2021, Akil Baddoo appeared to be very lost at the plate in 2022. He was sent down for assignment for a large portion of the season and only finished with an OPS plus of 65, which, for those unfamiliar with that metric, OPS plus stands for on-base percentage plus slugging plus. Similar to WRC plus, it's a way to measure a batter's performance against the rest of the hitters in Major League Baseball. An OPS plus of 100 is league average, so, for example, a hitter with an OPS plus of 110 would mean 10% better than league average. So Baddoo's OPS plus of 65 means that he was 35% worse than league average. Yeah, that was pretty horrific. With all that being said, Baddoo has pretty elite plate discipline and solid speed that may prove to be way more relevant this year with base sizes increased and the new pitch clock. So if Baddoo can bounce back to 2021 levels and couple that with his above average plate discipline, while also taking full advantage of his speed on the base pass, he could have a very solid year for the Tigers in 2023. I'm going to move on to Kerry Carpenter. Last year, the former 19th round pick absolutely raked. He started the year in AA, and over 63 games, he hit 22 home runs. 63 games, 22 home runs. An OPS over 1,000 for being promoted to AAA. In AAA, it only took 35 games in which he hit 8 homers and put up an OPS of 1.065 for the Tigers had no choice but to call him up to the bigs. He ended up playing 31 games for the Tigers in 2022, and during that time he hit 6 homers and had an OPS just under 800. He also finished with an OPS plus of 128. So, contrary to Akil Baddoo, Kerry Carpenter was actually 28% better than league average. There are several knocks on Carpenter, however. Kerry only has average speed. He's a below average defender and doesn't have elite plate discipline. In addition, thus far, he has only proven that he's able to hit fastballs and variations of fastballs like cutters. He struggles mightily with anything off speed. Hopefully he can improve on that this coming season. Bottom line, the fastball is far and away the most thrown pitch in baseball, so if there's any pitch that you can hit, you want it to be the fastball, and Kerry Carpenter crushes fastballs. It's also worth noting that Kerry is an extreme pull hitter, and the shift really destroyed a lot of his numbers last year. So with the new rules in place, no shift rule, yeah, Kerry could end up being the single best hitter for the Tigers. I know that's a bold claim, but I think he could be the Tigers' best hitter. I'd love to see what kind of numbers this guy could put up in 500 plate appearances. If his performance in the minors is any indication of the ability this guy has at the plate, he could be an all-star level hitter and could be primed for a breakout season in 2023. He was, in my opinion, the single best storyline last year for the Detroit Tigers. Super excited for Kerry. The final outfielder I want to talk about is a guy that we acquired from the Phillies in the offseason named Matt Vierling. Matt Vierling is 26 years old, and with all the depth that the Phillies have in their system, he never really got a chance to make a name for himself in Philadelphia. In the offseason, new Tigers GM Scott Harris mentioned that one of his main priorities was to have a right-handed hitter in the outfield, and Matt Vierling could very likely be that guy. As I mentioned, Matt is 26 years old, and last year he finished with a .246 batting average with a .297 OBP, .351 slug, and a .648 OPS to go along with 6 homers, 32 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. I think that we are very far from seeing what Matt Vierling's true ceiling is. He should definitely get an opportunity this year for the Tigers, and with his elite speed, being a right-handed hitter, and having the ability to play in the infield in addition to the outfield, he has a real opportunity this year for the Tigers. I wouldn't say that I'm overly excited about Vierling this year, but I'm definitely interested and curious. And I'm anxious to see what this guy can do. So that sums up the main outfield for the Detroit Tigers heading into the 2023 season. With everything that I mentioned, the Tigers outfield may be the thing that I am most excited about in general. Wouldn't shock me in the slightest if the Tigers finish the season as one of the top hitting outfields in all of baseball. If you got anything out of this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. I'm still trying to get this channel off the ground, so any support would be super appreciated. Also, comment below. How do you feel about the Tigers outfield situation? If you had to choose between Akil Baddoo and Kerry Carpenter, who would you go with? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out another video. Have a great day.